Hi everyone, yeah, I'm Gabriel from Zülke, and I wanted to spend my 5 minutes to talk about AI for good. So the story is about how we as data scientists can all have an impact and can all contribute to do good. And there's basically, I see three main ways in how we can do that. And the first one is that we can do AI in a good way. So this applies to all projects that we work on. And this is about fairness, transparency, responsible AI, and so on. And at Zülke, we have, for instance, a responsible AI framework. We have processes for how to do AI projects in an ethical way. So this is something where we can all contribute in all the projects. There's a second way in how we can have an impact, and this is by not using AI for bad things. And this is something where 2 years ago, Max Tegmark spoke about in more detail. This is about drawing the line on what kind of applications we're not going to work on. And his example was the biologists deciding not to work on biological weapons, and how, as data scientists, we also decide to not use AI, for instance, for autonomous weapons. And hearing all these talks about the applications of AI in chemistry and biology, I think we should also draw that line at actual biological weapons, also for AI. But then the third thing is from the other side, a more positive way of contributing is to not use, to actually use AI for good things, and this is what I'm going to talk in the remainder of the talk. I'm going to show 3 examples where we have worked on projects in the theme of AI for the environment, AI for health, and AI for accessibility. The first example is from a project we are working on together with PUB, that's the National Water Agency in Singapore, and they want to prevent environmental pollution by making sure that dirty water from construction site doesn't run off into the environment and pollute the rivers and the water. And here AI can actually help. So they demand a lot of measures from the construction companies. They have to hand in plans where they show that they take measures to prevent this. And we're using computer vision image segmentation to check all these relatively complicated rules and see that all these measures are in place and actually help the companies be compliant and prevent environmental damage. So to prevent the rivers looking like this, we can use AI to help them look like this. The second example is on the theme of AI for accessibility. If you've been in the AI for industry track, you might heard more details about their projects. This is about helping elderly people stay independent and still help them be safe. And here we worked on a project where we use smart meters to measure the energy consumption in a non-invasive way, so you don't have to install cameras in the home, you don't have to wear a wearable, but just by looking at the time series of the energy consumption and doing outlier detection, you can distinguish normal behavior from, for instance, someone fell down and can't get up, someone doesn't get out of bed, someone forgot to turn off the stove over lunch, and things like this. And so this is actually running in production and helping people right now. And then as a third theme, AI for health. This obviously has some obvious examples. I'm going to show you 3 projects that we've worked on. One is together with AOT, a Swiss startup. What you can see on the image is Carlo. It's the world's first certified surgical device that cuts bones with a laser. And also here, AI can help, mainly by image analysis and computer vision again. So here we've worked on applications of machine learning by analyzing the images during the surgery measured by a camera on this device to help guide the surgeon and help him do his cut. The second example is a project I've mentioned already also in the AI for healthcare track in diagnostics. I think this is a big field where AI can have a positive impact. This is about distinguishing 3 different kinds of diseases that is really hard for non-specialist doctors, and therefore a lot of people sadly don't get treated the right way. And here we've trained machine learning models on thousands of patients labeled by specialist doctors to actually enable non-specialists to get better diagnosis. And the third example is from Ava, also a Swiss startup. They build wearables to track fertility and help women and families get pregnant. And here we also supported them in getting their product through FDA approval. So all in all, we believe that AI will have a positive impact on our society and environment. Maybe you agree with this, or I guess everyone agrees with maybe a less strong version of this, that it can have a positive impact, and we all can contribute to this by doing AI in a good way, not doing AI for bad things, but actually using AI for good things. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriel. I'm just going to break protocol and ask you a question, even though we don't have time. But this framework that you mentioned, this AI for Good framework, is that a public document that others could learn from or adopt themselves?
It's not public yet, but we plan to write about it very soon.
All right. Good.
Thanks.
Good. Thank you very much.